This is the story of General Andrew Jackson's revenge against the British in the Battle of New Orleans. In 1780, Jackson joined the American Revolution at the age of only 13. The following year, Jackson was captured and was held in an old jailhouse when he was 14 years old. During his years as a prisoner of war, Jackson refused to polish a British officer's boots, resulting in a blow to the side by the officer's sword, and leaving a lifelong scar. Because of the hardships he endured during the Revolution, Jackson despised the British and eventually would lead the Americans in the Battle of New Orleans. I owe to Britain a debt of retaliatory vengeance. Should our forces meet, I trust I shall pay the debt, Jackson stated. On December 24th, 1814, the Treaty of Ghent was signed in Ghent, Belgium, ending the War of 1812 between the Americans and the British. Since news traveled slowly, no one in America, especially not people in New Orleans, knew that the war ended. Oblivious to the treaty, the British decided to attack New Orleans in an attempt to take over the most popular trading port in the USA. When Jackson got wind of the news of the attack on New Orleans, he quickly rushed to defend New Orleans to get back at the British. He rallied a ragtag group of 4,700 American men to fight. These soldiers mostly consisted of Choctaw people and free blacks. And Jackson also reluctantly accepted the help of Jean Lafitte, a French pirate, for his naval support. Jackson's small ragtag army was to face off against Lieutenant Sir Edward Packenham and his 8,000 well-trained soldiers. On December 23rd, Jackson launched a nighttime attack and fell back to the Rodriguez Canal and made a trench with the help of many slaves. On January 8th, the British launched an attack where a small group of soldiers was to take over an American artillery and turn them against the Americans. Then around 5,000 soldiers would make an all-out charge towards the Americans. Unfortunately for the British, they were greeted with 24 artillery pieces from the Americans. From there, the Americans started to fire round and round, taking out commanders and leading the British soldiers into panic. As the British started to retreat, the Americans mowed down the British with rounds of fire and grape shot. In only 30 minutes, the British were defeated with less than 100 American casualties. It appears, Jackson recalled, that the unerring hand of Providence shielded my men from the powers of balls, bombs, and rockets. With this with USA getting a victory off of this battle, Jackson had become a celebrity and went all the way to the White House, and he would be commemorated with celebrations. And finally, Jackson had gotten vengeance on his despised enemies. Because of this victory, this led Jackson to become the seventh president of the United States, and he was inaugurated into office on March 4th, 1829.